Today's date is April the 6th, 1994. I'm Blake Hailey, and we have with us Dr. James Turner, Professor and Chair of Cell Biology and Anatomy and Cell Biology. We're making this tape at the University of North Texas Health Science Center at Fort Worth in the Biomed Communications Department of the Gibson D. Lewis Health Science Library. Well, Dr. Turner, after saying all of that, I'd like to turn over to you now, if we could, and talk about your extensive background before you came to the Health Science Center.
Sure, I'll be glad to. I am a basic scientist by training. Received my undergraduate training from the Virginia Military Institute in the Department of Biology. And then from there proceeded on to graduate training at the University of Richmond in Virginia, and a master's degree in the area of biology. And then Ph.D. doctoral studies at the University of Tennessee in the Department of Zoology. After receiving my Ph.D. degree from University of Tennessee, proceeded on to postdoctoral training at the Case Western Reserve School of Medicine in the Department of Anatomy. And it was actually there transitioning from a basically zoological training to an anatomical discipline that I became interested in this particular area and department that I am now associated with. So my postdoctoral training afforded me the opportunity to extend my research interest, but also become more familiar with the anatomical disciplines. And so from that point on, I proceeded to my first tenure track position as a faculty at the Bowman Gray School of Medicine of Wake Forest University.
And this is about in the, late 70s, early 80s?
Right, and in the 70s, and spent 18 years there, proceeding through the ranks, and rose to the rank of full professor in that department, and also the director of their basic science division of the Eye Institute at the Bowman Gray School of Medicine, before proceeding here in 1992, in August, to become chair of this department.
What led you to consider TCOM at that time, after spending such a prestigious time at the other university?
Well, of course, at that time I became very much interested in increased leadership role in my discipline, and as one proceeds through the ranks, one would logically consider to increase their responsibilities, and one of those areas would be a department chair. And in that way you can afford leadership to an institution, but also to your discipline. And so that was a consideration I had been keeping in mind for several years towards the end of my tenure there at Wake Forest, and began to look at various positions throughout the country over about a 2-year time period, and then decided on this institution.
What were some of the things that attracted you to TCOM?
Well, obviously the idea that this would be a very growth-oriented institution, because of the, at that time, the pending new designation as a health science center would indicate fantastic opportunities for further growth and development. Also, there was an opportunity to develop my interest more in visual sciences, to recruit outstanding leaders in various fields of research that relates to eye disease concerns. Also in this community, the location of Alcon Research Laboratories was an interesting draw as well. The dean, then relatively new dean, Ben Cohen, was very supportive in the efforts to build an eye institute and to further develop the department. So those were real growth-oriented opportunities that I saw that I could have significant input. And also knowing the future, or the projected future, of the Health Science Center, I felt I could play a prominent role, and I'm an individual who likes to be in a growth-oriented environment.
Well, obviously your research as well has grown in the past few years. Could you tell us a little about the research? I know you started out very small, and now you have, I think, 9 people that you work with.
That's correct. We, as one begins their research career, you begin with a single investigator in your laboratory, and if you're fortunate for your program to grow and develop, then that means that there are more individuals that help support the effort. We have been involved in eye disease research for many years, and we have, of late, last 5 or 6 years, been pioneers in the new field of retina transplantation studies.
Could you go into a little bit of that?
And we were able to, for the first time, to cure an eye disease in an animal model of inherited dystrophy, very similar to some human diseases, by transplanting healthy cells into the diseased eye and preventing further degeneration. That captured quite a bit of imagination and enthusiasm from various funding agencies like the National Institutes of Health, the National Eye Institute, and we are working in that program at the present time and expanding our interest along those lines.
What other research do you plan to look into in the next few years? Do you have any other thoughts in mind?
Well, yes, we are interested in not only the inherited diseases of the eye, but in the aging process as well. The two prominent diseases, diabetic retinopathy and senile macular degeneration, affect two distinct classes of individuals. The diabetic retinopathy affects primarily the working class individual and is then the leading cause of blindness in that age group. Age-related macular degeneration is a leading cause of blindness in our elderly, more elderly and retired population. So we are working in those areas and are looking for ways to either cure the disease or slow the process of degeneration.
And you'll be working this for the next 5 or so years, it sounds like.
Absolutely, and
excellent.
We are looking for various opportunities to extend those programs, yes.
We've been focusing a lot on our interviews about the Health Science Center and all, and the changes, and you came while we were still TCOM. Why do you feel it was necessary for the growth and success of that institution to become the UNT Health Science Center? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, this institution is a growing institution and is probably, as I would classify it, in its adolescence at the present time. From its infancy to early adolescence, then, if we could consider that on a timeline, this institution consisted essentially of a medical school. But knowing full well what the capacity for further service in the health-related professions are, I think the initiative to become a health science center was a very wise one, because we feel that there is a great need in the area of North Texas for other initiatives in addition to training medical professionals, to train paramedical professionals, so to speak, in other health-related areas, and to also offer a very strong graduate program to train people how to do research in health-related issues, are charges that the administration has taken on in this new designation, and that's very important.
Are there some other things you'd like to see added to the Health Science Center that you're particularly interested in seeing come on board? I know the allied health has been mentioned and so forth.
Well, to begin with, the institution has recently embraced the concept of centers of excellence. These are interdisciplinary centers that may bridge several departments, both basic science and clinical. We have, at the moment, targeted perhaps 4 to 6 areas where we feel we have real research strengths. Several of those centers are now fully organized and are in the process of maturing. One of those, fortunately, I had the privilege to organize, is the new North Texas Eye Research Institute. And there are others. There's the Drug Abuse Institute, Aging Institute, and perhaps a Cardiovascular Institute that will be developing soon. That is the first phase of exciting further growth and development through the Health Science Center concept, centers of excellence. Then would follow additional schools. Public health is an issue that's before us now and very immediate. Allied health sciences I would like to see developed, and perhaps even a graduate school of pharmacy. So within the next 5 to 10 years, I think we see those prospects maturing, because there is a need within the community and an expressed desire by the community to support these issues.
Well, how do you see this Health Science Center, what do you think it has to offer that some of the others in Texas do not have to offer?
In a very unique way, we have been, since our inception as a medical school, interested and have become noted for our expertise in primary health care. We are in a position to move forward in a very strong and direct way with those issues in mind as we develop further the expertise in the medical school and our new schools that will come on board with the designation as a health science center. This means that we are in a position to be leaders in that field, and it's my hope that we will be recognized and will be in a position to do so. Other medical centers within the state at the moment are having some difficult times in deciding how they will be proactive with regards to primary health care. That has been our initiative and goal. We're geared to that, and we do that very well. So we can be a leader or the leader within the state with regards to those initiatives and show our other health science centers how to focus and concentrate on those important and timely issues for this next decade.
What challenges lie ahead for you and the Health Science Center in the next decade then?
Well, I think personally myself, in transitioning over this last year and a half from a scientist to now a administrator scientist has been most gratifying and enlightening. I think the challenges that lie ahead for myself are to further develop those areas over which I have distinct responsibility, to further develop excellence and expertise in teaching, research, and service within the Department of Anatomy and Cell Biology, to foster further growth and development of the North Texas Eye Research Institute to where we're fully constituted and have a clinical base as well as a basic science base and their interface and offer these services to the persons of Texas and the area in the North Texas region. I think also to go beyond that, to be involved in various areas of strategic planning with regards to the further development of this institution is an area that I wish to be involved with in the future, and that offers a real challenge.
Now, you're the director of the North Texas Eye?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And so you plan to continue that as well then?
I do, but it will evolve eventually to where there will be a clinical component. At the moment, there is a very strong basic science component. Today, we have over 20 faculty who are basic scientists involved in vision research, and approximately a total of about 50 persons are involved, staff and students. We are in the process of responding to a consultant's report on how to develop a clinical component to this institute. Once that is in place, then an executive director will be appointed over the entire institute operations.
Oh, you plan to help select a person at that point? Okay.
Yes, that's correct. We're in the process of appointing a steering committee next month, and part of that responsibility will be to develop a strategic master plan and also to serve as a selection committee for these new clinical individuals that we wish to have join us.
In your role as a chairman, do you see that changing much in the near future?
I see the role of a chairman changing just like the role of a CEO is changing in business today, to be more of an individual who is a coach, a cheerleader, a facilitator, than one who dictates events and happenings within a department and an institution. To work collegially with one's faculty and to empower the faculty to help make decisions and move us forward is an exciting element and one that I look forward to as far as new strategies for administering departments and institutes.
Dr. Turner, we've covered a lot of ground here in a short amount of time. Are there some areas that you'd like to go into that we haven't mentioned, maybe in the research or in any other thoughts you might have on anything?
Well, the other initiative that we're very excited about at this institution will be one of molecular biology and molecular genetics.
Oh.
The wave of the future with regards to understanding basic mechanisms and disease processes. We have been fortunate in our department to recruit several people in that area, and we look forward to that serving as a nucleus to an overall institutional initiative in the near future. So that's another area of excitement that we're looking to for further growth and development at the University of North Texas Health Science Center.
So that plans to expand the next couple of years and
Absolutely.
more. Okay.
And that will dovetail with our new DNA laboratory, and it will be an initiative hopefully through several of the clinical and basic science departments.
Is there a chance for a lot of linkage between here and the campus in Denton that could help you out in some way? Or
Well, on a broader context, we are, although in our department a major emphasis is in visual science, we are in the large part neuroscientists. And so our hope is that we can develop linkages with the Denton campus and develop neuroscience initiatives and perhaps even a neuroscience institute.
But that might be down the road another 5 or 10
Certainly,
years?
I would think so, yes.
There's some other areas of discussions you would like to bring up that we haven't.
At the present time, I think you've done an excellent job in the interview process, and I think we've discussed quite a few important issues.
Well, I do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules. I wonder you had time to fit us in with everything else that you're that you're involved in. I know that the Health Science Center owes you a lot for coming here and doing the great work that you've done and will continue to do, and we thank you for all the work you've done.
It's certainly been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward with great anticipation to our future.
It definitely sounds like you are looking toward the future, and that's definitely the kind of people that we seem to enjoy having here, and I've enjoyed interviewing. Thank you again for taking the time out, Dr. Turner, and have a nice afternoon.
Well, thank you, sir.